Almost everyone is now talking about toxic lyrically.
Toxic lyrically.
Toxic lyrically.
Toxic lyrically.
Mtu mwenye kila mtu anamtaka, like kila msanii anataka kupata tu collabo na yeye cause ako sure ita hit. Ni toxic.
It's performing all over the country, even in high schools. And suddenly, every artist wants a collabo, but when they're denied, they get bitter.
Yako pia najitarudi chini. Yeah. Ndio kesha mtu mwingine atamka imbe front bencher. Na urudi nyuma.
Almost every single song is done has hit more than 1 million views. Chinje has 11 million views, Backbencher almost 8 million views, Magnificent 6 million, and there's more. But today, we're not here to talk just about the views. We're here to talk about how he did it. How did he rise from Kayole 1960 to become the person we know today? Let's talk about it.
Mboka Doba manze ni toxic lyrically representing 1960, the baddest of the baddest.
To understand toxic better, we need to go back. But before even that, I know the question you might be asking is, what's his real name? Well, I can't really say it. Toxic has a better answer.
Jina langu origin ni toxic lyrically. Hiyo ngine ni mzazi.
And even cares about his real name. What matters is the music. Few people know that Nyashinski's real name is Nyamari Ongegu, or that King Kaka is actually Kennedy Ombima. People just enjoy their music. You get the point. Now, in about 2 years, Toxic has become so popular, and you might be thinking he was signed to a big record label, supported by the media, or pushed by big artists. But no, Toxic had none of that. He's done it all alone.
Yo, man on the left, check. Sign cosine, si call ni text. Kama round ujaribu kumes, so heaven tona next. Ukijaribu kuharibu chain na kinenda left, wezi kuwa safe. Kani bag, chase. Distraction tapigwa neck.
Toxic built his success without any support. No sponsors, no major features or collaborations, and even no father. Yes, one of the main reasons he worked so hard is because he was raised by a single mother.
Mimi ninanituma ni kwanza niko na single mom.
His mother actually listens to his songs, and even though they might not be parent friendly, I know she's proud. It's every parent's joy to see their child succeed.
Mama shaisikia ngoma yako?
Amesikia, anazijua.
Anasema nini kuhusu ngoma zako?
Uniambia tu itajipa tu, nimtoe Kayole hata siku moja furahie.
Inshallah.
Speaking of Kayole, Toxic was born and raised in Kayole 1960.
Tunataka uniambie una represent mtaa gani leo?
Na represent Kayole all days.
Kayombo Tole.
The home.
Uko ndo umezaliwa, grow up.
Kila kitu.
Watu wa 1960 kuna talent.
And it's true what that girl has said. Kayole has produced a lot of talent. Calligraph Jones, or the OG, also comes from Kayole. Now, Kayole is part of Eastlands or Eastlando, which includes areas like Umoja, Dandora, Buruburu, Donholm, and Pipeline. The number of artists who've come out of Eastlands or Eastlando is countless. In fact, Eastlando is often called the birthplace of Kenyan hip-hop and even Gengeton. Groups and artists like Huko Fulani, Kalamashaka, Wakadinali, and even Giuliani all came from Eastlando. Anyway, back to Kayole. Contrary to popular belief, Kayole is actually safe during the day. But at night, your safety isn't really guaranteed. Okay, I'm joking, kind of. Whether it's safe really depends on where exactly you are. Areas like Nyamavila and Masimba are known for muggings or robberies. Maybe I'm wrong or things have changed, but if you live in Kayole or you ever lived in Kayole, tell me the reality down below in the comment section. Let's also talk about his educational journey. Toxic rarely talks about his school life. But I remember he mentioned his grades in the song Backbencher. Maybe he was getting those E's in school, but does it really matter? Not at all. He wasn't trying to become a professor. He wanted to be a musician, and that's exactly what happened. In fact, his music journey began back in high school at Kayole South Secondary School. According to Toxic, he was the baddest artist in the entire school. Or as he put it, yeye ndo alikuwa mbaya chuo yote.
Mimi ndo nilikuwa mbaya chuo yote. Mimi ndo kuwa maalu.
Wewe ndo ulikuwa ule mbaya zote.
His name Toxic Lyrically actually came from high school. He got the name Toxic from his friends, and the word lyrically he gave himself.
Toxic nilipewa nikiwa chuo na Mamorio. Lyrikali ni mimi nilijipatia kwa ile harakati tu ya kuandika mirista. Nikasikia tu ni deadly. Chuo ilikuwa Kayole South Secondary School.
Now, besides being the baddest in music, he was also the baddest in something else. Football. Yeah, he used to dream of becoming a footballer when he was a kid. And he loved football and was actually talented from a young age. But in high school, things began to change. His love for music started taking over, and soon the dream of being on the field turned into a dream of being on stage. Around 2019, he officially began his music journey and decided to focus fully on it. Starting out as a new artist is tough, especially when you come from a place like Kayole, where opportunities are limited. You know, there you don't have money, you don't have connections. But that didn't bother Toxic. For him, he knew that the only person who can save him was himself.
Doba ni consistency kwanza kama upcoming, kujituma siku zote, na kutoacha kutegemea binadamu. Binadamu ni wale.
He doesn't believe in depending on other people or collaborating with big artists to succeed. So he never waited. He just started. Even when he didn't have the money to record, he kept writing the lyrics, believing that better days were coming. And they came. When he began, he started as a solo artist and later joined a group, but eventually went solo again.
Nilianza usanii one man, kwa njia tukakuja tukapatana na crew, tukadisperse, ndo tena nikaingia sasa solo artist sasa.
And even as a solo artist, he has done wonders. I mentioned he began music back in 2019, but he only started going to the studio, a real studio, at the end of 2022. That's about 4 years of waiting, just imagine. Maybe he was waiting for the right time or to save enough money for studio sessions. Most people would have given up if they were Toxic, but Toxic never gave up. He truly believes that music is a personal journey, and as an artist, you have to show up every single day. Not just as an artist, even in life, you have to show up every single day. He posted his first song on YouTube at the end of 2022. The song is called Long Story, released in October 2022. It's a catchy song that fans loved, which later pushed him to make a video. But interestingly, the video was released 3 years later in February 2025. It might not be one of the biggest hits, but it still got some attention or recognition even from kids.
Ananisho kijana dai kutinga nataka nishabisha kimalizo. Situlielewa na mande. Hapana. Akili nimebadilisha.
In 2023, he dropped more songs like Forgive, Mask Shang, Chaji, and Seize. The videos for some of the songs might not have been the top quality, but remember, he was just starting out, a boy from Kayole. And for someone coming straight from that particular place with zero sponsors, no big connections, and limited resources, that's something to respect. Now, the songs he released between 2022 and 2023 didn't really go viral or hit mainstream media. But in Kayole, hey, this guy was a superstar. He was one of the most popular underground artists in the area. But he didn't stay in the underground for long. In 2024, he released a freestyle called Wrong People, a song that he personally doesn't even like, but fans love it. Right now, it has about 1.6 million views, which is a lot, especially for a lyric video. Now, things changed in July 2024 after releasing Thagnificent. As we're talking, this song has about 6 million views. And remember, that's just on YouTube. There are still other platforms where people can stream his music, but let's stick with YouTube because those numbers say a lot. And honestly, getting even 1 million views on YouTube is not easy. So seeing Toxic hit 6 million views, that's unbelievable. Anyway, with the song Magnificent, Toxic gained massive attention from all directions. The haters, the fans, the new listeners, and even mainstream media began playing his songs. Magnificent sounded different, like something people have never heard before from Kenya. The video was real and also raw. No nudity, no fancy cars, just a group of guys in the ghetto, some shirtless, some flashing their silver teeth, enjoying themselves. Is that really silver? Anyway, even the video had dogs, Mutina. It was a simple video, but the message was powerful. I know he never really expected this song to blow up the way it did, but it blew up, and within a few months, Magnificent became super popular, especially on TikTok. And honestly, the success of Magnificent shows the real power of social media today, especially TikTok. Any artist, doesn't matter who you are, you can blow up on social media. We are not in the 2000s where artists depended on mainstream media like radio and television to become popular. Just post your song like Toxic did and hope for the best. After Magnificent, Toxic was without a doubt the next big thing. Everyone was waiting for what would drop next, and he delivered. Still in 2024, he released Catman and another song called Chinje, which became even bigger than Magnificent. Right now, Chinje has around 11 million views. Hey, that's a lot of views. Chinje showed a bolder, more fearless side of Toxic. The song paints a picture of life in the ghetto, talking about crime, hustle, enemies, and the daily struggles people face in the ghetto. The video even had people showing a panga or machete, which sparked a lot of discussion online. Some people claimed that Toxic was promoting violence, but Toxic said that his music doesn't promote violence. It simply shows the reality of what many young people go through in the ghetto. You might be asking, what does Chinje even mean? According to Toxic, Chinje means rampage.
Chinje kama venye sisi watu Kayole tu sema rampage kwa rampage sasa ndio mbele aje. Chinje sasa ni rampage but in another jina tu tofauti ya rampage, yani venye watu wa Madhari wanaisema na vitu wenye watu wa Kayole wanaisema. Rampage ile harakati ya mnatoana, yani kutoana mbogi kwenda giz sunanga kwenda kuround wase yani.
After going through the lyrics of the song Chinje, the one thing that stands for me is threats. There's a part where he says, sometimes siezi fry na bado sija kufry. My guy step most boss unaweza kosa kuona kesho. It sounds serious, it's dark, but that's the style of Toxic. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He says things exactly how they are in the streets. You might think he's just putting words together or making things up, but Toxic has said that 90% of what he raps about is real life, things he's actually gone through in the ghetto.
Of course, kama msanii lazima pia ujue scenario, but 90% nikupitia.
By the time he was about to release his next song after Chinje, Toxic was already huge, big enough to catch the attention of Apple Music editors, who selected him for the Up Next East Africa program. The program is a big deal that gave Toxic the global exposure through playlist placements, media features, and extra industry support. At the end of 2024, on December 31st, he dropped another banger called Sick. Now, this song had the same Toxic effect, real, raw, and unapologetic lyrics. The video was shot as usual in the ghetto, and unlike his earlier video, it had a little shaking here and there, but that didn't affect anything. In fact, it makes you want to watch the video even more, right? In 2025 this year, Toxic has continued to dominate. He has released more songs like Long Story, Confirmation, Hood, and Backbencher, which went viral on TikTok.
Backbencher, nani ya S-class.
And he made Backbencher in just 30 minutes.
Backbencher bana, unajua ninakoga tu kablesi ile nigutuka tu nyuma ya kisogo kibare pa shakam nikawapatia teke dakika 30, kumbe hiyo ndo inaenda kuchange maisha tena bana.
What really stands out in the song Backbencher is the line, Backbencher ndani ya S-class. I love that part. People expected the video to be about just the S-class, but it turned out a bit different.
Tunaombea Toxic. Jundiona video yake ya Backbencher. Tunamwombea sasa afanye sasa na ma S-class. Ndio nilikuwa naona mabaiskeli na shanga.
Lakini kulikuwa na S-class kadhaa. Kulikuwa na S-class kabili tatu msee.
Alijaribu. Sasa tunataka a whole convoy.
Okay, does this lady really have that convoy she's talking about? Just asking. Anyway, after the success of Backbencher, Toxic Lyrically did something no one saw coming. He surpassed Bien to become the most streamed artist in Kenya on Apple Music. Backbencher even hit the #1 spot on the Apple Music chart in Kenya. To show you just how big this song was, let's watch this clip.
Backbencher ndani ya S-Class, backbencher ndani ya 00 mileage, na speedometer inachezea 260. Samahani kwa wenye wananidigi, roll kiji kwa modela ananidigi.
That's Nikita Kering, one of Kenya's biggest female artists, vibing to the song. And she's not the only one. Even artists like Calligraph Jones, Nyashinsky, and Brida LW have shown support for Toxic. Later in August 2025, he released Bad Flowers, a song that caught many by surprise. The song does not have that usual raw or aggressive tone that we are used to. It's actually a love song, and in the video, Toxic is even holding flowers. Just imagine, not a machete. It's surprising for the fans. Some people said the song sounded too clean or too commercial, not the Toxic they are used to. Fans are used to him rapping about the streets, Masanse, Warazi, Ndom, all those scary things that come from the ghetto life. Then in September 2025, Toxic dropped another soft song called Mapenzi featuring Bridget Blue, and people talked a lot.
Jamaa juzi on stream nimereact ametoa ngoma mpya na sijui kadem kanito Bridget Blue, and I was like, dem, she sounds like a good singer, but Toxic alikuwa the odd one out in that music.
Nimeshinda ku move on, aisongi ni kama damu imeklot.
What the fuck is that, nigga? Toxic, tangulini ukajidanganya unaweza kuwa singer. Toxic, let's keep it 100 with each other. Wewe si singer, you're a rapper. Na wewe ni mtu wa kutuimbia gangster rap. Mimi nilishtuka huyu jamaa amekaa chini, akajichocha yeye anaweza kuwa BN ati anaanza kufanya melody. Bro.
Now this guy may or may not have said things that everyone agrees with, but we live in a democracy. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Personally, I think Toxic was just experimenting and trying to grow. And of course, trying to make money, because let's be honest, no big company is going to sponsor someone who shows up in a music video holding a machete. Big brands worry about their image. That's why rappers like Octopizzo and Calligraph Jones eventually switch things up. You don't see them shooting videos in Kayole or Kibera anymore, talking about violence and poverty. And change is inevitable. Whether you like it or not, Toxic will eventually change too. It's just part of life. For now, just enjoy the music. No one knows what tomorrow holds, right? Personally, I love his music videos because they feel real. They're not about fancy places or big parties. His videos are simple, usually shot in the ghetto. And in the music videos, he always has this group of people, big group, which I guess is the Mbogi. And they always make these videos feel real and exciting. Toxic has a very different sound that does not sound like dancehall or even hip-hop. So what is that style? Now, his style of music is a mix of dancehall and modern hip-hop, which people nowadays call trap. In short, Toxic is doing trap dancehall. It's a popular genre which started in Jamaica and was made famous by artists like Masika and Skillibeng. Toxic is now doing the same thing here in Kenya. And by the way, his song Chinje was actually inspired by Masika's track Update. The beats even sound quite similar. Toxic has made many big songs, but has never done any remix, and he says he never will. For him, once a song goes viral, there's no need for a remix. In fact, he prefers creating a brand new song from scratch instead of redoing old songs. Another thing about Toxic, some may call it weird or let's say different, is that he's not a big fan of collaborations. Some fans have been asking Toxic to work with other big artists, but he hasn't done it yet, and Toxic doesn't really see the need of doing that.
Kolabo mimi ndo nitawatafuta. Wewe ndo utawasaka. Mimi ndo nitawatafuta.
Honestly, he's already getting the same views or even more than these big artists. I understand views may not always prove who's the best, but in today's world, numbers matter. That's why some people buy views, you know them. Still, not working with big names doesn't mean he avoids collaborations completely. He's worked with several artists like Master VK, Mauru Gwash, and Ebola Mkuu. Many people, even fellow artists, have criticized his decision not to collaborate often or work with others, calling it arrogance. But is it really arrogance?
Usijifeel sana. Fame huisha. Watu ndio mali. Alafu most of all, punguza kiburi. Punguza kiburi mtu wangu. Yani unajua uko na talent, sajame kufungulia njia, mambo inaenda poa. Hii ndio masaa inafaa una shake hands na watu, unajua kuishi na watu vizuri. Ndio uje kusurvive industry. Badala utafute watu kama Paroti niulize ni aje, umesurvive aje game paka saa hii uko relevant hivi.
At the end of the day, an artist should do what he wants, whether it's collaborating or not. It's a personal choice. Toxic has even responded to these critics saying, where was all this advice about collaborations when you were starting out? You know, these same artists and the fans calling him arrogant were nowhere to be seen when he was struggling back in 2019.
Si mafans, mimi sijaonyesha kiburi. Wasanii ndo tunasumbuana huku mtandao. Wasanii muimbe mwachane na mimi. Haya. Mimi amkuwa na mimi nikiwa chini. Sasa nikiwa juu pia usikue na mimi. Namba ni jamu, sijaibadilisha.
And it's not just the collabos, even interviews. Toxic doesn't appear in just any interview. It has to add value to him. He prefers interviews that contribute meaningfully to his image or artistic direction. In August this year, Toxic made headlines for turning down an interview offer from Oga Obina because he felt the platform didn't align with what he wants for his brand.
Yeah, I think I reached out to Toxic Lyrikali. Yes, I did. And we even spoke. I think I also have his number. And he said at the moment kidogo iko aligned na nini yake. Actually, that's what he told me. Yeah, we spoke with Toxic and he told me kidogo the interview that he wanted to do was more of a musical interview. That's exactly what he told me. It's not siku cheka ovyo. Yeah. But if it's meant to happen, it will happen.
Now let's go back to his music. There's a term or a word he often mentions in his songs, Mboka Doba. So what is Mboka Doba? For lack of a better word, it's like a movement or a team that Toxic is building, where he's also signing other artists. Now Mboka means work, while Doba means song. So Mboka Doba simply means music is the business. His career hasn't been without controversy. One of the biggest one happened in August 2025. Now, Toxic went to perform at the State House in Nairobi, and during that event, he was told to say the two-term slogan by John Kerry, which annoyed many people.
Nataka uniambie two-term kwenye microphone, itisha two-term kutoka Nairobi.
Tunasema aje? Ati tunaisema aje? Mboka Doba sikuzombo. Two-term.
And some people are accusing Toxic of aligning himself with political agendas. Hope amelipa generation wealth cause I ain't listening to that shitty music again. Okay, time to cancel him. I think musicians should stay neutral. There was even a plan to cancel Toxic, but that plan didn't work. And Toxic later clarified that he had been coerced into saying that slogan and never intended to make a political statement. Now, recently, like 3 days ago, he dropped a new song called Euphoria. It seems to be a response to all the haters and critics with the line, "Wana boronja sana tukipatana, inakuwa ni euphoria." I think that's the best way to end this video. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, thank you so much for subscribing. Also, let me know what you think about this video down below in the comment section. And with that said, let's meet in the next video.